our next A-League Women season preview takes us down to Victoria. We'll head to one half of the Melbourne Derby. We'll head to the Melbourne Victory side of the Melbourne Derby, coached by Jeff Hopkins, who is basically part of the furniture down there at the Melbourne Victory. They lost the grand final last year to Mariners. That's a little bit of tongue slip right there. And narrowly only lost the premiership to Melbourne City by 2 points. Some of their notable outs include Claudia Bunge, Leah Privatelli, Emily Gilnick, Sarah D'Apollonia, Alana Murphy, Ellie Wilson, Paige Zoyce, Ava Breedis, and Alex Chidiak, while some of their notable ins include Zoe McMeekin, Rhianna Pollicina, Sienna Silvesca, Taylor Ray, Chelsea Blissett, Poppy O'Keefe. And if you want to see more about Poppy O'Keefe, you can click above our heads to take a look at the Scouting Series report that Kieran Yap did for the Dubcast channel. While some of the notable re-signings for the club include Nikki Flannery, Kayla Morrison, Courtney Newbon, Rachel Lowe, Ella O'Grady, Sophia Sakalis, Holly Furphy, and Ella O'Grady. For the Melbourne Victory, we know that they are very much in and around, the title chasers, right? And we've been saying it for years. Jeff Hopkins just knows how to get his side clicking at exactly the right time to make that push towards the finals. But last year was sort of one of the situations where he had them clicking for the entire season, and it was literally only one result that stopped them from winning the premiership, and that result was literally conceding. I think it was like the 89th minute or something off the top of my head, like they took the lead against Melbourne City in a derby, like inside the opening few minutes, and were leading that game 1-0 until basically the end when they conceded. It was a 1-1 game, and that turn of result, had they won that game, would have seen them take out the premiership.
Yeah, it's crazy how you look back and find that a result from like mid-season is the one that has derailed your end of season. But that's the fun of football. This Victory side is gonna look, I think, quite different considering, which leads me to my big question for Melbourne Victory. What is going to happen in this midfield? Like, what are they doing there? I'm very
It's a
interested
stacked
to
midfield.
see. It is, but it's kind of like Sydney FC last season where they just had 100,000 midfielders. And I feel like Melbourne Victory now have 100,000 midfielders. I'm intrigued. Good luck, Jeff Hopkins. He'll make it work. He always
Yeah,
does, but I'm very interested to see.
it. I look at it on paper, and there's obviously too many midfielders to fit into a
Yeah.
starting side, and
Please
so you
delete
have to
at least
wonder.
3. I am not a
You have
crackpot.
you have to. Oh, I love a good Simpsons reference. You have to find a way to make it work. Someone's going to be incredibly harsh to not make the starting side each week. There's probably going to be 2 on the bench at least. And then there's probably going to be 1 or 2 who just will not be part of the matchday squad at all. And they're going to feel incredibly hard done by just because of how many there are. And I almost, for the lols, on FIFA, you used to be able to essentially do custom formations, right? And so you could put 6 in midfield. I almost
That's
like
what
a
Jeff
three
needs
six
to do.
like a 3-6-1 formation. I almost want to see Jeff Hopkins do that just for the lols to make sure everyone fits in. But I don't think that would work in real life, unfortunately, as nice as it would be. Um, I mean, it would be very un-Jeff Hopkins like to tinker with his formation to such an extent, but
But it would
three
be
five
funny.
two, perhaps. Like, is that how you fit everyone in? Do you play five in midfield and sort of split them around? Or do you just go with the four? Um, like a 4-4-2, like a 3-4-3, or something like something like that, or do you just simply go with the three in midfield and you manage minutes as best as you can?
Yeah, I think it's going to be the three in midfield, maybe four if we're lucky. But
And then that, I think, moves in nicely to my burning question, which is, can Jeff Hopkins rebuild on the fly and remain competitive? And I don't necessarily mean rebuild as in a traditional sense, because he's still got such a core of his squad there from the last couple of seasons, led by Kayla Morrison at the back. But like you look at some of those outs, right? The players who were a key part of the squad last year: Em Gilnick, Leah Privatelli, Sarah Dapolonia, Alana Murphy, Paige Zoyce, right? Um, like Alex Chidiak, right? Like these are key pieces of the squad, and they've been replaced by some absolute guns of players coming in, but you need to make that work. And for Melbourne Victory, you know, they they expect silverware. They're competing for silverware, and so you need to be able. And that's what I mean by rebuild on the fly, where it's sort of like, okay, these players are coming in. You need to make it work now, because we don't have time for a traditional rebuild where you strip it down for a year or two, and then build on the backup. Like this is a side that demands success, and it's essentially a replenishment, right? The likes of a Sienna Savasca, a Taylor Ray, a Chelsea Bliss, a Rhianna Pollicina coming in to replace some of those big names that have departed, and I think they'll do it. I think that they will be insanely competitive once again, Burke.
yeah, I don't think Melbourne Victory are allowed to not be insanely competitive. I think there's actually some kind of rule written down somewhere. Um, don't ask me to prove that, but I know that rule exists somewhere out there. Yeah, they'll be competitive. It's kind of built into them. I do still have one final question for Melbourne Victory, but this dead horse has been beaten so hard. Like this doesn't even resemble a horse at this point. Is this the season we finally see Aussie Kayla play for the Matildas? Is it? I want it to be. Desperately. Is it?
I mean, I've been on the record. Uh, I've been on the record of saying that if her national, like if her FIFA change is approved in like February, like say February 2, and the
She goes to
squad
the
for the
Asian
Asian
Cup.
Cup has to be named on February 14. Like you put her in the squad,
She goes to the Asian Cup.
she's there. Like I don't care if it's her debut. That's where you put her, as far as I'm
Yep.
concerned. Like I see absolutely no reason to suggest otherwise. Um, like for me, that's it, right? Like if she is eligible by FIFA, she's in regardless. We need more strong centre backs for the Matildas, and Kayla Morrison would certainly make a fantastic one. But getting back on track for Melbourne Victory's season as a whole, I'm sure Jeff Hopkins doesn't want to lose Kayla Morrison for a month for the Asian Cup. They finished second last year, literally 2 points behind Melbourne City, as we've already touched on. They lost the grand final. Where do you see them finishing this season?
I, ooh, I would say they're going to give Melbourne City really a real run for their money for the Premiership as well as the Championship. They always do.
You going to put a number on it, or just
No, I'm not. I, I don't believe I could do that. It, like it. Yeah, no.
that's fair? Look, I think they will be top three again. I I like you. I don't think I can narrow that down just because of the volatility of the A League women. Do Melbourne City just run away with the competition again? I think they'll be absolutely competitive in the finals series,
Oh
and
yeah.
they will make a proper tilt at the championship again. They will be in the race for both pieces of silverware. Whether they can win, either is going to be up to this side. On paper, they can absolutely do it, but the games games are played on grass, not paper. They used to be played on plastic, but we don't do that anymore. Thank goodness for that.
Thank God. Thank God.
And then your player two. Actually, no. Before we go to that, I want to dive into this midfield a little bit more here with the Melbourne Victory. Sarah Apollonia and Alana Murphy. They depart to SC Sand in the two Frauen Bundesliga in Germany during the off season. How big of a loss is Alana Murphy and Sarah Apollonia going to be?
Huge. I think particularly Alana Murphy. She's so solid. She's solid in a way that you don't realize until she's gone, and I, they're gonna realize. They're gonna realize. Yeah. Good luck.
Good luck indeed. And rounding off your player to watch.
My player to watch is Rhianna Pollicina. I have deeply missed Rhianna Pollicina ball. I think, yeah, you said it ages ago, already on the record, that she's going to win the
Yep.
Julie Dolan. I don't disagree. I don't know who else would be a shout at this point, but it's very easy to say with solid minutes, it is Rhianna Pollicina. Yeah.
Yeah, you literally took mine. For obvious reasons, as you said, I've got her to win the Julie Dolan. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I see no reason to believe it won't. So I'll go with another incoming player into the side, and I'm going to say Sienna Silvestre. She had I don't want to say a breakout season at the Wanderers last year, but she was certainly a bright spot in the side that won the Wooden Spoon. It's her career trajectory has been interesting. She started at the Wanderers, didn't get a lot of game time, went to Sydney FC, didn't get any game time, went back to the Wanderers, got all the game time she wanted, leaves at the end of the season, comes to Melbourne Victory. I want to see if she can carry her form from last season with the Wanderers, again, a Wooden Spoon side, and take it to a top of the table side in Melbourne Victory.
Yeah, I hope she does, honestly, because she's an unbelievable player for someone so young.
She is, and will certainly be one to watch. If you liked this preview, you can have a look at the rest of our season previews by clicking on the playlist here on your screen.